Hello everyone, welcome back to PSGL as we now enter the dawning of a new era now on the brand new EA Sports F1 25 game and also ahead of Season 40 of PSGL PC F1. My name is of course George Morgan, returning to the commentary box as always, lining up alongside me for his first full season of PC F1 commentary. It's the returning Tom Knight TK. TK, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Very much looking forward to getting started on what is a brand new season, a brand new game, but some of the best drivers in the world coming together to race on a weekly basis.
Now, while the commentary box, things may not have looked that much different, I can tell you the grid does somewhat. Let's have a little look at what is to come ahead of the new campaign. Here is the season's grid, and first and foremost, we're going to be kicking things off with Alpine, who have made, certainly I would say, probably the more dramatic of changes, really, with Otis Lawrence stepping in after a breakthrough season in the F1 Sim Racing World Championship, has also made his mark in the world of league racing on the new game as well. He now joins Danny Berejnay, who leaves Veloce after a long storied tenure, and now in the Alpine is going to look to strive for greater grandeur. And Nathan Teague, the team boss of the Alpine team, I'm sure is going to be very excited about this. Really incredible partnership of both youth and experience.
Over to the lean green racing machines of Aston Martin, it's Duncan Hoffland who re-signs or holds on to his Aston Martin contract. He joins alongside Nicolas Longuet, who has fled ship from the Scuderia Ferrari to head to Silverstone to be part of this outfit. A fantastic partnership that I think could be on course for success.
And as Nicolas Longuet departs Ferrari, Ismail Fassi steps in after a breakthrough 2 seasons in the F1 Sim Racing World Championship. Nearly made his mark on a quest for the title as well last season in that same championship as well. This time, though, he's going to be met with Barry Burman, of course, a former champion in PSGL in terms of PCF1. Back in season 32 and 33, of course, he went very close, though, with Thomas Ronhaar, but it was decided in the stewards' room, and it went Barry Burman's way. How are they going to fare ahead of a new season? Could it lead to Burman's second championship, or could it lead to Ishmael's first?
It's all change over in Haas, both drivers being new blood to the PCF1 lineup. Reese Linton and Joris Krozen step into the cockpits for the Haas team this season. Of course, Joris has a little bit of experience reserving in seasons gone past, but how will our 2 new drivers fare in such a competitive field?
We'll wait and see, but first and foremost, here comes Thomas Ronhaar, of course, a former race winner, multi-time race winner in this championship, has very nearly gone close to titles as well, not just in PSGL in terms of the PCF1 championship, but also in the F1 Sim Racing World Championship, as well as had his fair share of controversy, but also great success. He'll be lined up alongside new blood Julian Klaffenbach ahead of his first season in his full campaign of PC F1 action, has risen up the ranks through the realms of PSGL and is now looking to strike at the very top in certainly the most competitive grid you'll ever see in the world of F1 sim racing. It is going to be a special one, and how will it fare for Kick F1 Sim Racing, or indeed Sauber, here at this point?
Over at the Williams camp, it's Ruben Petreno that comes to join the team alongside, well, we all know him, Alvaro Caraton, a fantastic driving pairing. Again, it's old blood versus the rookie coming in. Are we going to see a natural leader take the step at a Williams team?
Tom Manley, once talked about as one of the great up-and-coming rookie drivers, also a Challengers champion in his own right. On his quest for grandeur, he's going to be aligned alongside Turk Ulas Özildirim, who has certainly had a very storied history in competing in a wealth of LAN events. Also in the F1 Sim Racing World Championship with Haas, of course, he was formerly partnered with Alfie Butcher. Also competing in the Rennsport R1 Championship, has got his fair share of experience in LAN events. Can he convert that into, shall we say, an online run here this time in Season 40? Let's wait and see.
It wouldn't be PCF1 without the dominating force that has been Red Bull Sim Racing, and both drivers that have become somewhat household names at this point in time. Jarno Opmeer and Freddie Rasmussen, 2 drivers that are the definition of work hard and see the results because they have numerous victories and championships under their belts. Are we going to see a similar story this season?
An iconic lineup at Red Bull, that's for sure, and Mercedes, who are also an iconic team, and it's, well, certainly hold steeps of history in the realms of PSGL as well. Of course, granted, many of that brought to the table by Jarno Opmeer. This time they have Istvan Pukki, the Hungarian who joined now a season, or should we say a year and a half, to nearly 2 years ago now. Obviously, had his full season debut with Mercedes at the start of last season's F1 Sim Racing World Championship, and will be joined by Lucas Blakely, a former champion in the realms of PSGL as well, in season 31 with the Papaya McLaren team, where of course he did also win his first F1 Sim Racing World title, his only one as well, back in 2022. Looking for that fire again and that return to grandeur. Can Mercedes help him along this time as he enters season 40 of PSGL?
McLaren and Mercedes, a team once united, now stand divided in modern day Formula One, and nobody knows that as well as Jake Benham, of course, leaving the Silver Arrows to join the Papaya Army as we head into season 40 of PSGL. He'll be looking to try and challenge for the top spots once again, alongside Alfie Butcher, and a fantastic driver lineup for the team from Woking.
Yeah, so there you have it, folks. Those are your 10 teams and, of course, the 20 drivers that will be taking the full season campaign of PSGL here in Season 40 of PCF1. It's going to be a cracker. You do not want to miss a thing. We certainly won't be missing anything for you either, folks. We're going to be enjoying every moment. Plenty of moves, though, TK, and most notably Alpine. And we mentioned this, of course, being one of the most intriguing lineups, with Otis coming in after a breakthrough season last year. Of course, we've expected this, haven't we, from this young man who's really proven himself on the league racing scene leading up to that F1 Sim Racing debut. Lined up alongside Danny Berejnay, who carries a wealth of experience, now finally departing from Veloce. How is he going to certainly fare at Alpine with young Otis?
I think that's the question. How are they going to be able to handle that team dynamic between the two of them? You've got the rookie, you've got the old guard, and both of them are going to have to work together well to try and get those victories, not only for the team, but for themselves as well. And you mentioned that Otis has been this one to watch for season after season. And actually, that's something that we saw back in season 37 when he came in as that reservist and actually finished second place in the championship.
Yeah, really incredible, I must say. He's really carrying a huge weight of performance in behind now as he moves into a new season. We'll look forward to seeing how he gets on. Also, moving on to the Lucas Blakely story, I suppose. Obviously a former champion in both PSGL and F1 Sim Racing, now departing McLaren, finally, after a storied history. Now moving into the Mercedes car ahead of PSGL PCF1. And of course, we've had a movement with Jake Benham moving to McLaren to align with Alfie Butcher. That's an interesting dynamic right there.
Yeah, it's not often that you see a straight driver swap between two teams, and one of such this caliber, I think, is probably how it sort of stands up. Blakely, a fantastic driver in his own right, as is Benham, and actually just to see them swap will be interesting to see how each individual team fares, because they're both, on their day, elite drivers, some of the best probably in this competition.
Yeah, and also as we move ahead to Kick Sauber as well, countless times we've seen Ron Haar in pursuit of championships on the F1 games in the past, TK. He's come close in PSGL in the past. Of course, Barry Burman beat him to the punch back in season 32 and 33. He's also had his chances in the F1 Sim Racing World Championship. He's had his fair share of controversy, but now alongside him, Julian Klaffenbach as well this time. Obviously the young man who has really proven himself through the, should we say, the junior ranks of PSGL, and also looking to just move himself into a position where he can be a mainstay driver at the very highest level. What do you make of that combination at Kick Sauber?
I think it's going to be one that will either work or it doesn't. It's a bit of a Marmite lineup. I think that's probably the best way you can describe it. Either they're going to have a fantastic season, drivers will work well together, or we're going to see probably the vice versa. Both of them want the race wins. They both feel they deserve the wins, and we might see some inter-team fighting. And as much as it pains me to say, you can't talk about Sauber without talking about Brendan Lee's retirement.
No, you can't. Obviously now the great Brendan Lee, the two-time F1 Sim Racing World Champion, now departing. Of course, we're, like you said, we're in a new era of the world of sim racing right now. That's the canvas. That's how the complexion of the drivers looks. That's your 10 teams, your 20 drivers looking ahead to a new season. Let's have a look at the canvas that they will be racing on. A 14-round canvas, in fact, that kickstarts for round 1 on July 23rd at Brazil at Interlagos. We then head on July 30th to Texas. We head stateside for round 2. Then off to Silverstone at the home of the British Grand Prix on August 6th for round 3. Next up, August 13th, it's a trip to Netherlands at Zandvoort for round 4. We then have a break week for August 20th before we then head to Spielberg, Austria at Red Bull Ring on August 27th for round 5. China comes next on September 3rd for round 6, and then we head to the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit on September the 10th for round 7. We then reach the halfway point. We head to Jeddah for the second half of the campaign on September 17th for round 8. Round 9, it's Qatar on September the 24th. Another break week for October 1st. Before then, we head to round 10 at Bahrain on October 8th. October 15th, we head to Melbourne for the Australian race on round 11, and then round 12, October 22nd, we head to Mexico City as we then head to our second stateside visit with Vegas lined up for October 29th as our penultimate round, round 13, and then the grand finale at Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit, where we'll witness fireworks on November the 5th. Here to crown a champion, I'm sure. Hopefully we'll see the title go all the way, but let's wait and see. It's going to be a true blockbuster, TK.
Blockbuster, chart topper, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a fantastic season for our drivers, for our viewers as well, because this is going to be a spectacle that they do not want to miss in this season.
No, they certainly don't, folks, and you don't certainly want to miss it. I tell you what, we're not going to miss it for you. We're going to bring it to you. Of course, do join us. Next week, we will be live for our very first round of Season 40 of PCF1 as we head, of course, to the first round at Brazil at Interlagos. It's going to be, I'm sure, an outright, should we say, race fest with plenty of opportunities for various drivers, new and, of course, the more experienced ones looking to lift the mighty crown to become a PSGL PCF1 champion. Do join us, like I said, 7 o'clock next week. That is, of course, on Wednesday, July the 23rd. But from me, George Morgan, and Tom Knight TK, till next week, wish you all the very best. Goodbye.